And we start off with housing news. New York City has settled a federal lawsuit accusing its housing policy of perpetuating racial segregation. Under the agreement reached, the city will reduce the percentage of affordable housing units reserved for local residents within their own neighborhoods. Now, the current 50% community preference allotment, that'll be lowered to 20% until April of 2029, after which it'll further decrease to 15%. The settlement concludes a lengthy legal battle, with critics arguing the community preference policy restricts choices for applicants who wish to move outside their neighborhood, also violating federal fair housing laws. Now, New York City Mayor Eric Adams supports the settlement, saying, quote, "It preserves a crucial tool for creating affordable housing while collaborating with communities citywide." City officials argue the policy, though contested, is vital in preventing displacement, especially amongst low-income Black and Latino neighborhoods that are facing gentrification. In other city news, recently introduced a cutting tool, I should say a cutting-edge tool, that's aimed at enhancing student safety during their journeys to and from school. Now, the innovative app, endorsed by the Department of Education, offers real-time tracking for yellow school buses. Parents and guardians can conveniently monitor precise location of their child's bus as it progresses along its designated route. Accessing the app is straightforward. Simply log in using your New York City Public Schools account and your child's ID number. Now, remarkably, over 75% of buses within the public school system have already integrated into this tracking platform. And for those whose child's route isn't currently available for tracking, well, parents have the option to request the addition of their school to the app. In local updates, elected officials have introduced new legislation in response to the tragic death of a 1-year-old who was exposed to fentanyl at a daycare center. Our Bronx reporter Brittany Schuyler Albane has a story.
3 months ago, these parents lived their worst nightmare.
It's impossible for us to try to find a way how to live with this pain. It's impossible.
Their 1-year-old son, Nicholas Felice Dominci, succumbed to fentanyl exposure after the 1-kilogram brick was found in the children's playmats at the Divino Niño Daycare Center. Now, elected officials have joined together to announce new legislation that would prevent this tragedy from happening again.
They want to make sure that policies are moving forward to make sure that something like what happened to their child can never happen again.
New York State Senator Gustavo Rivera joined District 14 Councilmember Biarina Sanchez to roll out new policy. The bill targets the involvement of the parents and the knowledge of the providers and inspectors.
Next to the license, there must be a message that says that parents are explicitly allowed to inspect the facility to that place.
Exposure training will also be mandated for providers, and inspectors must follow state-level standards to identify drugs and illegal paraphernalia thoroughly.
While city and state legislation are underway, there are talks about taking this to the federal level, as phone calls are already being made to the White House.
Our Congress member, Adriano Espaillat, has been in conversations with the White House and the U.S. Department of Justice, asking for additional enforcement support here in the West Bronx, because as the opioid crisis has gotten much worse.
All involved want the community to know that they are working tirelessly to ensure that Nicholas's death is not in vain. Reporting for BronxNet, Brittany Schuyler Albane.
Very tragic story. Thank you, Brittany. That's all the time we have for our Bronx updates. We are taking a quick break, but we'll have more open when we return.